All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Something historic happened yesterday in college basketball. And if you were watching my videos on the news channel, you're going to see a real familiar pattern here. I'm going to explain to you what really happened in the world of rig sports yesterday with, for the first time ever, the top 6 seeds in college basketball all losing on the same day on a Saturday named after Saturn, the sixth planet. But this is ESPN's story. The final Saturday in February turned out to be a historic day in college basketball. Each of the top 6 teams in the AT Top 25 lost, the first time that has ever happened on a single day in the history of the poll. A total of 7 members of the AP Top 10 fell, also a single-day record. Now remember, Saturn's the 6th planet. It has 7 rings. Saturday's named after Saturn. And there's something very special about the 57th day of the year, which has a lot to do with the planet Saturn, as I wrote about in my first book. But if you watched my news channel yesterday, I talked a lot about the number 154. And I'm going to show you why that's important again and how it lined up with this day in entertainment history before. But understand, Gonzaga, who was the number 1 seed, they lost for the first time yesterday to St. Mary's in 154 weeks. And to go back 29 years ago, on this day, the movie Falling Down with Michael Douglas released. You know, these teams fell yesterday, right? They were falling down. So Michael Douglas's Falling Down released on this day in 93. Remember, 93 is a Saturn number. And the thing was, that movie came out 154 days after Michael Douglas's birthday. 154 days. Yesterday, Gonzaga lost to St. Mary's for the first time in 154 weeks. And what is 154 in relation to Saturn? Well, it's all these things. When you write out 93 as a word, it equals 154. When you write out Saturnalia, which is the celebration of Saturn, it's 154. The star of Remphan is used to symbolize Saturn. The star of Remphan equals 154. If you write out Saturn's cube, it equals 154. And why does a cube represent Saturn? Because it's 6-sided, like Saturn's the 6th planet, like seeds 1 through 6 lost on Saturday. Okay, so here's the other part of this equation. Check it out. February 26th is the 57th day of the year. 31 days in January, 26 days in February, 57th day of the year. Notice Gonzaga, the number 1 seed, they lose with 57 points. They only scored 21 in the first half, okay? And keep in mind, Arizona's number 2 right now. Who's Arizona's coach right now? Oh, that's right, the rookie coach who just came over as an assistant from Gonzaga. So how funny that they're the top 2 seeds this year. But let's go to them losing with 57. Why does this matter on the 57th day of the year? Notice the moon was in Capricorn on February 26th. Again, this is the astrology piece. Capricorn is ruled by the planet Saturn. We talked about this with why Brady was going to go for his 7th ring when he did. Had a lot to do with Capricorn. If you look at Capricorn's astrological symbol, it looks a lot like 76. And it is the 76th pro basketball season right now. Keep that in mind. It's the 75th season as the brand being the NBA, but it's the 76th pro season. Just look at the Warriors, originally from Philly. They're in their 76th season. Anyway, the moon was in Capricorn, ruled by Saturn on a Saturday. And with regards to Gonzaga, the Jesuit schools are Catholic, losing to the Catholic school St. Mary's. In astrology, the moon represents Mary. And just to read this right here, the crescent moon is used to represent Mary's miraculous conception and birth. Okay? And in Gematria, Mary equals 57 when you use the alphabetic order, 21 when you use the alphabetic order with the rules numerology. Moon is the exact same, 57 and 21. And in that same cipher where Moon and Mary are 21, so is Saturn. And what is 21? 21's the 6th triangular number. If you add 1 through 6 together, it equals 21. Gonzaga scores probably their season low at 21 points in the first half, and then finishes the game with 57 on the 57th day of the year. And again, when you pay attention to these things, you see how this goes on every single day. Sometimes the rituals are just a lot bigger than other days. And you have to understand that the 57th day of the year is always a really special day. It's not an accident that the World Trade Center bombing happened in history on that day. Another big Jesuit deceptive ritual. People don't think the news is rigged. It is. People don't think the sports games are rigged. It is. People need to wake up. Yes, they do. But Mary and Moon, 57 and 21, factoring in with Saturn. Again, the sixth planet from the sun, the sixth day of the week. Add 1 through 6, 21, right? Perfect ritual. And again, with regards to 57 being coded in the moon, it's because you can only see a total of 57% of the moon's surface from Earth. These numbers are not arbitrary. They're all mathematical. You can see 57% of the moon's surface from Earth. What's moon equal in the most simple cipher? 57, right? Okay. Now, with regards to seeds 1 through 6 and seed 9 losing yesterday, as we just said, when you add 1 through 6, it equals 21. So if you add 9 more, it equals 30, right? 30 is also a number commonly associated with Saturn because Saturn has a 30-year return. And again, if you guys are new to Gematria, just to show you something real simple. Actually, here, I'll just use it on my calculator because it's even easier to do. Okay, if you guys don't know, my website's GematriaEffectNews. If you click on the calculator tab or the drop-down menu if you're on your cell phone, and you just scroll down a little bit, you can download your Gematria calculator for free. Apple platform, Google platform, totally free. Nothing, no information you got to put in, just totally free. And it works offline, so if you don't have an internet connection, it still works. But in the settings, you can toggle the ciphers. And I'm just going to turn off everything except for the most pure cipher, which is Pythagorean Gematria. But I'm also going to click S equals 10. And if you don't know what that means, it's because S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. S is the only number you have to reduce 2 times to get to a single digit. Pythagorean Gematria is just about making double-digit numbers into single-digit numbers. So like Z, the 26th letter, you know. Whoops, what did I do here? Oh, shoot. I just realized that. All right, hold on. S, okay, you see how S becomes 1? S becomes 1. If you use the rule for S is 10, S becomes 10 because it's the 19th letter. The numerology of 19 is 1 plus 9 is 10. 10 is 1 plus 0 is 1. So, again, it's the only letter you have to reduce 2 times. You don't have to do that with any other letter. So the thing about that is, if you recognize S is 10, Saturn is 30, like how it has a 30-year return. But if you do not recognize it as 10 and just recognize the S is 1, Saturn is 21, like it's the 6th triangular number. So that's what's special about S in the reduction gematria. And actually, I need to talk to the web developer because that didn't dawn on me until just now that I can't have them up at the same time. But here on Derek's calculator, this might be more clear if you're confused. Okay, Saturn. Again, S is the only letter you have to reduce 2 times. So if you just choose the rule where you only reduce it once, instead of S being 1, S becomes 10. And because of that, Saturn can be 21 or 30. And you see, the teams that lost 1 through 6 and 9, you add up the numbers, it's 30, right? So the ritual is clear. Saturn's 30-year return. And again, the last time that Gonzaga lost to St. Mary's was March 12th, which is quite the day, 2019. That's a very special day to the Catholic Church and the Jesuits. That's the day the founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, became a saint in history, March 12th. It's the 71st day of the year. But again, those 2 dates are 154 weeks apart. 154 weeks, again, like Saturnalia's 154. And with regards to it being the 71st day of the year, remember Gonzaga's 71 like Catholic. And you might recall the other year when we called North Carolina to beat Gonzaga in the championship, and we said it would be all about 71. If you write out Gonzaga Bulldogs, it's also 71 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse numerology. We said it was going to be all about 71 that year, the tournament. We said the Carolinas would dominate, which they did. The men's team, UNC, won the men's bracket. The women's team, the South Carolina Gamecocks, won the ladies' bracket. It was all about 71 that year. When you write out March Madness, it's 71. And consider, the first ever March Madness, it was the Catholic school Villanova over the Jesuit school Georgetown. but March Madness also 71. You see how March Madness is also 46? Take a look at Catholic again. 71-46, right? And, the one thing I forgot to say is the year that UNC beat Gonzaga, the reason we knew it was going to be all about 71 is because what was going on in news and sports all synced up. The big thing in the Carolinas was the bathroom bill, which is also 71, and they took the All-Star game from Charlotte because the NBA said they were being a bunch of bigots in the Carolinas by not allowing transgender people to choose which bathroom they wanted to use. And that's what the bathroom bill was about. It said if you were born a man, you have to use the men's room. If you were born a woman, you got to use the woman's room. Well, the NBA came in with its politics, and understand it's all ritual. And same people control the NBA, that control NCAA, that control your politicians. It's all just ritual. But they took the game from Charlotte, and I said, watch. Now they'll reward the college basketball teams, and that's why the Carolinas will dominate. And North Carolina won the men's tournament that year over Gonzaga with 71 points. And again, in the women's tournament, the South Carolina Gamecocks won. And remember, South Carolina also made the Final Four that year in the men's. But they referred to the ladies' team through the whole tournament as the Ladycocks. And again, most people didn't even get the joke. They're arguing about who can use what bathroom, and then the Ladycocks are winning the March Madness tournament after the bathroom bill. The Ladycocks. The mockery. All day, every day. You guys saw the anal sex condoms that got approved the other day, right? In case you don't think it's the Jesuits behind all this. In case you missed this, on the 54th day of the year, the FDA approved 54 sizes of anal condoms, covering every dick size from little button dick to, I suppose, blue whale dick. But hold on. Right here. If you guys missed this, if you guys don't think the Catholic Church runs your whole nation and you think this is all a coincidence here, this might convince you. On the 54th day of the year, February 23rd, Courtney Lias of the FDA came out and explained why they approved 54 different condom sizes for anal sex. Notice her name is just like Jesuit order forwards and backwards. And they said the experiment, or the test, was with 252 men, ages 18 to 54. Again, the Jesuit logo is the sun. Sun is 54 through 18. You guys wonder why they determined that 18 is the age of adulthood? It's because the Jesuits control everything. The Jesuits are Catholic and Jewish. In Judaism, 18 represents the meaning of life. That's why when you turn 18, if you're a Jew, you get a denomination of money that's divisible by 18. But again, 54 different sizes of condoms. And why did they do 252 men, supposedly? Because of the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, 252. If you don't know the Bible, that's the story of the town that gets destroyed by fire because they're having anal sex. So, again, you don't think the Catholics and the Jesuits run your whole world? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't. The language we're speaking right now comes from the Catholic Church. The calendar we tell time by comes from the Catholic Church. Everything encoded in our science books comes from the Catholic Church. We're living in a big Catholic Jesuit shit show, literally. And with regards to shit show, what happens when you flip their logo upside down? You know? It spells out shit. What's shit equal? 56, like Society of Jesus. What's Gonzaga's record going to be, the Jesuit school, if they win their conference tournament? It'll be 26-3, like 263, the 56 prime. Some more shit. And by the way, before all these upsets yesterday, Duke, the 7 seed, won their game. But this was ESPN's front page all day before college basketball started. The Duke player, number 21, front and center. And you see how they chose number 5, number 21, and number 0 for this shot? Again, I mostly only talk about the base ciphers, but there are other ciphers that matter. Septenary and Chaldean are related ciphers, and they are important. You know, they factor into some things. Just notice how when you factor in Septenary and Chaldean gematria, in Chaldean, Saturn's also 21. In Septenary, it's 26. Look at that shot they had up there all day. 5, 21, and 0. What's that add up to? 26, right? And yesterday, understanding the most pure cipher, the one that's blue, Duke gave its opponent its 14th loss yesterday. I had a guy calling into my stream who had to call in multiple times about how Duke was going to get upset yesterday. I was just shutting it out. I was like, no, I don't think Duke's going to lose, man. You got to stop with that one. It's funny, 1 through 6 all got upset, but I was like, I don't think Duke's losing, man. They're giving that team that 14th loss, and they sure did. They blew them out. Syracuse. But Yeah, I mean, yesterday I gave a lesson on what happened 29 years to the day with falling down and how that was predictive programming for the World Trade Centers falling down. You guys noticed that all day yesterday, the story was that a Russian skyscraper got hit with a missile on the anniversary of the 93 World Trade Center bombing. And don't forget, our government simulated Al-Qaeda attacking targets like the World Trade Center with cruise missiles on June 1st, 2001, 102 days before the 9/11 attack that they say lasted 102 minutes. And Al-Qaeda equals 102, and Art of War is 102, and World War is 102. The American Civil War began on the 102nd day of the year. The whole thing in Russia-Ukraine began 102 days after the Superior General's birthday, 102 weeks after the Call of Duty Warzone game came out that's set in Ukraine where Warzone equals 102, and exactly 102 weeks from the start of the coronavirus pandemic, which was the worst pandemic in 102 years since Spanish flu that came out of World War I. Art of War was translated by a Jesuit. Again, you guys, that's why the whole world is a joke, from what's going on in Ukraine to what's going on with your rigged basketball games to what's going on with all of your rigged sports games. And again, this knowledge can be lucrative. I thought the value play yesterday in the NBA was Nets to upset the Bucks. They were a 9-point dog. They had a good riddle to do it. Watch what the Nets do this week. If they get hot, they could be looking at another 35 Thursday. And for the guys who leave comments like, "What? I don't get it. What's up with 35 and Thursday?" For all of you guys that leave comments like that, I mean, come on, man. You're on GematriaEffectNews. I'm showing you these websites. I'm showing you the calculator. Don't you even have it in you to just like, you know what? I'm going to type in that website and see if I can figure out why he's talking about 35 on Thursday. And I guess I'm answering the question. You don't. You need somebody to come answer it for you when the question's already 99.9% answered. You can't fill in the last dot to figure it out, really? Come on, you guys. I know they dumbed us down, but you shouldn't be that dumb. Really, all of us have been dumbed down. We have. We've been chemically poisoned since we were babies. We were sent to slave school to be made stupid. And that's why they get away with ABC 1, 2, 3 in front of our face every single day. By the way, St. Mary's winning with 67. Like, if you're curious why they won with 67, what's 67? It's the 19th prime number. Where does 19 relate with the moon? St. Mary's the moon. The moon's on a 19-year cycle. Remember, I've been telling you guys since pretty much 2014 why we'd all be fucked by 2020 if the world didn't wake up. And was I wrong? Nope. We all got fucked real hard in 2020 by the Jesuits, the ass-raping gang. And what did we get fucked with? COVID-19. 19 years after 9/11 and the 19 hijackers. Because all of these things are related to numbers, astrology, the cycles of the moon. Again, the Hebrew calendar, every 19 years, the holy days fall on the same day. Because it's all synced up with the moon. That has a 19-year cycle. So Gonzaga, they do got 2 games in their little tournament. They'll likely play St. Mary's again in the championship. Watch if Gonzaga wins both games. They'll be 25-3 in the first game, 26-3 after the championship, 56th prime. In Hebrew, the word Saturn equals 56. We talked about this with the Travis Scott concert on the day leaving 56 days left in the year. And again, for those of you guys who think it's silly that there's these ciphers, again, it's just because you don't understand. Let me write out Saturn again. Saturn in Jewish gematria is 511. November 5th is written 511 in the majority of the world. 511. It's the day leaving 56 days left in the year. If you remember, if you go back and watch my work on Travis Scott, they did so many different things with the numbers of Saturn in his death, or in that death ritual at his concert. And remember, the concert was a big cross. The stage was a cross. And it was an upside-down cross, and it was the anniversary of Machiavelli album coming out, Tupac on the cross. But all of this stuff is biblical. It's all astrology-related. Saturn is the Grim Reaper, if you didn't know that. Saturn, or the Grim Reaper scythe, where that comes from, is the astrological symbol for Saturn. It has the scythe or the sickle in it. So Saturn's related to death and judgment. Again, you got to understand what these things represent, and then you'll understand the rituals that are taking place right in front of your face. Why does St. Mary's beat Gonzaga on the 57th day of the year, dropping them with 57 points? You remember last year on the 93rd day of the year with regards to Saturn and just rituals with Gonzaga? Last year on the 93rd day of the year, that's another big number with Saturn, their player hit the half-court shot to win it, giving them their 93rd points on the 93rd day of the year, April 3rd. Jalen, who went to the same high school out of Minneapolis, Minnesota on the 93rd Meridian as their big, tall, skinny player they got this year on Gonzaga. They both went to the same high school. So they're old star players from the same high school that their current star players from that's on the 93rd Meridian. Again, and you have to think, they're a Jesuit program. Right now we're in the time of the first Jesuit pope, whose birthday is Saturnalia, December 17th. And again, just to tell you one more thing, again, in 1985, we're seeing that this year we're seeing that all of the sports rituals so far to start this year have been about 85. The Rams, they win the Super Bowl in their 85th season, winning the game with 85 seconds left after giving Brady his 85th and, final career loss. Daytona 500 won on Penske's 85th birthday, as we talked about. The first ever March Madness was in 1985. Again, the Catholic school over the Jesuit school. Villanova over Gonzaga. Where basketball is 85, it's 22 with Pythagorean. But remember, the Jesuit motto, Isus Hominum Salvator, is 85. And Pope Francis is 85 years old right now, right? And do pay attention if Duke finishes the year 27-4, because remember, Travis Scott, there was something about college basketball and that happened, and he just gotten that Duke tattoo on his neck. I'm still trying to figure out for sure what's going on with March Madness, but it's possible that Duke finishes the year 27-4. Isus Omnium Salvator, though, 85. That's the Jesuit motto. National Football League is 85. And notice if you run it in reverse, National Football League and Isus Omnium Salvator, they're both 85 forwards, 122 in reverse. And again, everything's synced up with Pope Francis right now. Born on Saturnalia. So, again, study your numbers, study history, pay attention. You'll see, day after day, same old stuff going on all over the place. And yeah, I'm sure there's more to see in these scores too. Baylor and Duke were the only top 10 teams to win yesterday. Of course, Baylor won it last year. Remember, last year was the 82nd tournament. Baylor University, 82 in the most pure. Baylor alone, 28. Gonzaga alone, 28. And that's why we said, you better hedge with Baylor, who had a great payout to upset Gonzaga, because we saw that Baylor could get that 28th win and upset Gonzaga's perfect season when 28's a perfect number. And Baylor, they were in their first championship in 73 years, if I remember right, last year. That's why you got to see the ciphers, forwards and backwards. Baylor's got the 73 in it. They get their 28th win. Baylor's also 35. Who did they do it against? Gonzaga. Gonzaga's also got the 35 and the 28. Baylor's a Christian school. They beat the Jesuit school. So, again, similar type of rituals. And by the way, with regards to the last of the top 10 seeds going down yesterday, TCU one was 69. Again, the base ciphers is just the alphabetic order, forwards and backwards. Saturn got the 69 in it as well, you see? Yes, see? So, I think we hit all the main points right there. If you guys got here late, rewind to the beginning. It was a lot more simple, and then I threw in a few more things, deeper things to think about. But, oh, yeah. One more thing that I forgot to mention. In Jewish gematria, planet equals 226, right? 93. We talked about how Saturn equals 93 in the most simple cipher. In 93 on that date, there was the bombing of the World Trade Center. And if you guys don't know that history, they blamed it on the blind sheik, whose name is 93, right? And they said because he was blind, he didn't do the operation right, and he planted the charges the wrong way, and they blew craters into the ground. There's a lot more to that story. It wasn't an accident that Bill Clinton, who had just become president, who was born Bill Blythe, whose mom remarried into the Clinton political dynasty out of New York, and then he just ended the underground weapons testing program that started off with, detonating atomic bombs underground, which is another 93. And again, what's ground zero equal? Ground zero equals 127. The only definition for ground zero before 9/11 was the point below or above ground where an atomic, nuclear, or hydrogen bomb explodes. and buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell the day of 9/11 in New York. Ground Zero 127. They called it the New Pearl Harbor. Pearl Harbor happened on December 7th. You know, that war ended with the dropping of the atomic bombs. The oldest pilot who dropped the bomb died at 93. But if you guys don't know the song by Public Enemy, 911 is a joke. It was produced by the Bomb Squad for another 127. And no doubt that song came out 11 years before the big master plan in 2001 was part of the predictive programming. Again, you're missing out. Don't forget, last year we used Public Enemy's What You Gonna Do When the Grid Goes Down album to predict why there'd be blackouts all over the nation on Valentine's Day, which we were dead on about. That's Arizona's birthday, and on the cover of their album was the state of Arizona. But anyway, Planet is 68 with the most simple cipher, 226. That's how many teams are now in March Madness, right? 68. 68. Basketball, Catholicism, and mathematics are all 68. You know? 68 teams now in March Madness. In Jewish Gematria, it's 226. This huge mathematical Catholic Jesuit ritual on 226 in tribute to Saturn, the planet that is the keeper of time. All of these rituals in relation to time. Remember, I was just talking about Steph Curry hitting those 16 three-pointers 68 days after setting the three-point record. And you know what's funny about the day he set the three-point record? Not only was it the day of the Connecticut school shooting at Sandy Hook, because he passed Ray Allen from UConn, who was in He Got Game with Denzel Washington synced up with 9/11, where Public Enemy did the song to the Buffalo Springsteen tune. Everybody's, how's it go? Stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody, look what's going down. You know, Public Enemy sampled that song for the He Got Game soundtrack. Came out 1,229 days before 9/11, the 201st prime. There were 2 towers, and there was 0, then there was 1. 201 points scored in the game where Steph Curry passes Ray Allen. Ray Allen born on the 201st day of the year. 201, the number of the Society of Jesus. Ray Allen plays Jesus Shuttlesworth in He Got Game. Some people contend September 11th is Jesus' real birthday. It's New Year's Day for the Christian Coptic calendar. But the other thing that's funny about the day that Steph Curry set the three-point record, because remember, he exited with 2,977 three-pointers made in New York. They say 2,977 people died on 9/11. But that day, December 14th, that's the day in history that plutonium was discovered. And again, plutonium's what's in the big bombs that related to the term ground zero. And again, you better ask yourself what turned the World Trade Centers to dust, because they were turned to dust. 110 stories, 2 buildings just turned to dust. What did that? They couldn't have planted some bombs in there in 93, could they have? After Bill Clinton stopped 50 years of underground weapons testing, they worked under those buildings for months. Again, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. Pretty sure that's how sick the jokes are. Our tax dollars, 50 years of weapons development just to fool us to lead us into another war. And again, that's what happens. Maybe instead of watching basketball games all day and learning jack shit about shit while investing all your energy in rigged games day after day like almost every man does in this world, maybe you should take a couple hours and read Art of War. The longest chapter in the book, 68 paragraphs. The 11th chapter titled The 9 Situations. Maybe you should read this book about how it's easier to just take over a nation without even fighting a war and just to essentially trick all the people and not even let them know that they're ruled by a new entity. You think that's what's going on in America? I guarantee you that's what's going on. One of the big tricks is just distracting the manpower all day with entertainment while they're used as tax cattle. So chemically dumbed down, they don't even know what's happening right in front of their face. That's so obvious. What do you mean sports are rigged? How can you rig a sports game? Meanwhile, they have Netflix. They could turn on their Netflix and watch the Ken Burns baseball documentary where it begins. In the beginning, the word was conspiracy. And then they talk about how at the early days of professional baseball, every game was rigged and scripted for the sake of narrative and entertainment and to keep people interested. Funny to think that was the 1800s. Funny to think it's 2022 and people still haven't caught on. I don't want to watch that, though. It's boring. I need an explosion. Okay. I think we got it all here. I think we got it all in here. And again, if you think it's all a coincidence, well, Salute to the Jesuits. More proof of their agenda. All right, True Seeker. We'll leave it there for now. And don't forget to hit the like and the share. Till next time.